Are Gen Zers becoming more conservative? Where there's a fascinating poll out that shows 52.7% of young people aged 18 to 29 support Donald Trump. Let's talk about why. Hey guys, welcome to the Shermichael Singleton Show. I'm your host, Shermichael Singleton, and this data from Atlas Intel polling is incredible to me. But before we dive in, if you're following us on YouTube, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the notifications bell to get notifications for upcoming episodes. Drop your comments below, like this video, and share it all over your social media to invite new people to subscribe to the channel. Also, head on over to WTF.TV for more uncensored news, podcasts, and a plethora of conservative-leaning content. Let's break this all down. So this polling data to me is fascinating. I couldn't believe it when I saw it. This data apparently came out in February, and no one in the mainstream media has talked about this. Not a single person. Now, I can't say that I'm surprised because, of course, it's a positive thing for Donald Trump, and the mainstream press aren't going to cover those things. But we're going to talk about it right here on We the Free and on the Shermichael Singleton Show. I mean, when you think about young people, you typically think liberal, progressive. You don't think conservative. And for years, if we're being frank, Democrats told themselves that Gen Z would be their salvation. A righteous tide of justice-driven, climate-conscious, identity-affirming young progressives. Boy, it seems that they were wrong. They called them the ascendant majority that would keep Democrats in power for the next 50 years, the next several decades. That's what they called it. But again, they were wrong. Now, look, I'm no stranger to the shifting winds of American politics. I've worked on enough political campaigns to have seen coalitions rise, and I've watched them crumble into dust. But even I gotta admit, guys, when I saw this, what's happening right now with young voters, particularly young men, is nothing short of a generational revolt. Now, look, I'm a millennial. So a lot of the Gen Zers, 18 to 29, a little younger than me, but not by much. I mean, I'm in my early 30s. So you're 29 years old. You're only like 4 years younger than me. So I'm not surprised by the shift, but then at the same time, I'm surprised by the magnitude of young people who are supporting President Trump and the magnitude of them who are moving over. Again, particularly among young men, this is nothing short of a huge revolt. And like all revolts, it honestly begins in silence. According to David Shore, a Democratic pollster whose job is to read the tea leaves, that's his job, and tell Democrats what they want to hear, even he is stunned. He said, and I quote, "Young people have gone from being the most progressive generation since the boomers to guess what? Maybe the most conservative in 60 years. Imagine that. Well, isn't that something? Who would have imagined it? Again, the Atlas Intel poll now shows that Trump has a 52.7% approval rating among voters age 18 to 29. That's not just a blip. That's not just noise. I mean, my friends, that is a drastic realignment politically. And he didn't just win young white men, because Democrats say, oh, it's just young white men. No. Trump peeled off young non-white men too, Hispanic, Asian, Black. You see, while the left was busy fighting over pronouns and pushing TikTok policies, President Trump and many on the right were speaking in plain terms about strength, order, power. And young men, well, they heard it loud and clear, and they liked what they heard. They liked what they were listening to. And obviously, they're moving more and more to the right. Now, let's talk about the numbers. A 23-point gap among young voters under 30. 23. That's not just a divide. That's a canyon. And Democrats, well, they have no idea what to do about it, and no one's surprised by that. They don't have a leader. They don't have a message. And it's been that case ever since they lost in November. Now, Ezra Klein, and if you don't know who Ezra Klein is, he is no fire-breathing conservative. Even he admits, quote, Democrats are getting destroyed now among young voters. That was his quote. And he's not wrong. That's just not spin. That is, frankly, surrender. Democrats believed the youth would save them. But what if the youth no longer believe in them, as these poll numbers are starting to suggest? You see, the left mistook volume for voters. They thought the more young people vote for us, that means we're going to get more votes. They were wrong. They thought hashtags were a movement. But in politics, perception is power. And performance is absolutely everything. And Trump performed. And whether you like him or loathe him, his message resonated in the dark corners of dorm rooms, in the dark corners of gyms, the dark corners of garages, in the minds of young men tired of being told they're the problem, tired of being told masculinity is a problem and that they're toxic for exhibiting their natural traits. So the question is, the big question, what happens next? Now, Democrats will do what they always do. They'll spin, they'll pivot, they'll scramble for scraps. Maybe, just maybe, they'll try more youth outreach. Maybe they'll dust off some tired message and slogan about hope and unity. But here's the truth. They never saw this coming. They never saw this coming because they stopped listening to young men and pivoted to telling young men what was wrong with them. Now, if you're a Democrat watching this, well, I'd suggest you stop looking to the future with rose-colored glasses and start staring into the harsh reality of the present. And the present is that boys, young men, have broken ranks. They don't want to vote Democrat anymore. They don't identify with progressivism. And the question, at least from my perspective, and it should be from your perspective as well, the question isn't whether Gen Z is conservative. That's kind of clear based on these poll numbers. The question is, how deep does this well actually go? And if I were a betting man, which I most certainly am in this case, I say the right, conservatives, Republicans haven't even tapped the bottom yet. I'm Shermichael Singleton. Let me know about the comments below. 52.7%, according to this Atlas Intel poll, now support President Trump, those 18 to 29 years old. If you're watching us on YouTube, again, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Hit that notifications bell to get notified of future upcoming videos. Drop your comments below just about how explosive this data actually is. Like us, and again, head on over to WTF.tv, where you can subscribe for free for more uncensored conservative content. I'm Shermichael Singleton. I'll see you on the next one. Take care.